Hi everyone, welcome to the lecture 2 of microprocessor and microcontroller. Unit 1 885 processor we are discussing. In that we are going to discuss a topic called functional building blocks of processor. Before discussing the individual blocks, let me discuss the features of 885 microprocessor. Yes, the first feature is it's an 8-bit microprocessor. It is manufactured with NMOS technology, one of the oldest technology. It has 16-bit address bus and hence it can address up to 64 KB of memory. Okay, 64 KB memory location can be addressed, as I said, through A0 to A15 lines, address lines. The first 8 line of the address bus and 8 line of data bus are multiplexed AD0 to AD7. Data bus is a group of 8 lines D0 to D7. It supports an external interrupt request. It has 16-bit program counter, 16-bit stack pointer. It has 6 general purpose register pairs B, C, D, E, H, L, and it operates on plus 5 volt power supply at 3.2 megahertz single phase clock. It is also packed with 40 pin IC. So these are the features of 885 processor. And I think we've already discussed how to draw pin diagram, how to draw the architectures. Yes. So let me discuss individual blocks of 885 microprocessor. Yeah, the first block is ACC. We call it as accumulator. It is otherwise called as A register. It is an 8-bit register used to perform arithmetical, logical, and IO and load and store operations. It is connected to the internal bus and ALU like this. ALU, it's an 885, this block says it's an 8-bit ALU. As the name suggests, it can perform arithmetic and logical operations like addition, subtraction, and or not operations as an 8-bit data. It works in coordination with accumulator, temporary registers, and flag registers. So temporary register, it is an 8-bit register which holds the temporary data of arithmetic and logical operations. It is connected like this. The output of the ALU is connected to the 8-bit internal bus. The next thing is flag register. So flag register, we have 5 flags: carry flag, parity flag, auxiliary carry flag, zero flag, sign flag. So totally 885 has 5 flag registers. Let us discuss one by one. First one is carry flag. So if the result stored in an accumulator generates a carry in its final output, then it is set. Otherwise, it is reset. And one more thing, it will act as a borrow flag for subtraction. Let us take, to describe this, let us take two data. Okay, so first data I am going to take it as F5. So let us write this F5 in an binary digits. So 4 ones, 0 1 0 1. So I know everyone that you can understand this binary number. The second data is 45. The second data is 45. So 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 1. So these are the data that we have taken now. Okay, let me add this number. So let us assume this 45 is placed in accumulator and this F5 is placed in temper register, right? Now add this number. Yes, 1 plus 1, it is 0 with carry 1. So the carry is forwarded back. Okay. So now here 1 0 0, so it gives 1. Again 1 0 1 1, it is 0 with carry 1, so 1. Now 1 you can put as it is, next digit 1 as it is, 1 1 is 0 with the carry 1. Now what is the last bit? 1 1 0. So when you add 1 1 0, it gives you 0 with carry 1. Now you can understand, if a carry is set at the last bit, then we can call it as a carry. Okay, so you can see at D0, the carry flag is set, right? So this is what carry flag. Okay, now the next flag is parity flag, right? Parity flag. If the number of ones is even in the output stored in the accumulator, then it is set, otherwise it is very simple. If the accumulator carries an even number of 1, then this parity flag will set. If it has odd number of ones, then it is reset. Now you just count the number that we have in an accumulator. The last number is 13A, 13A. You can count it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 number of ones. So then I can say it's an even number. Okay, so even parity. Okay, this is what even parity. Okay, so now we discussed about two flag. One is carry flag, another one is parity flag. Next is we're going to discuss about auxiliary carry flag. For that, again I'm going to take two data. One is F5, as you know we have taken already. The next one is 4B. I have taken the number as 4B. Okay, let me write this 4B. Now add it. 0 with carry 1. Yes. Now 1 1 is 0 with carry 1. 1 1 is 0 with carry 1. Now this is an important place. Now 1 0 1. Now add this number. If you add this number, you will get 0 and carry 1. Okay, so this is where we call it as auxiliary carry. If a carry goes from D3 to D4 in the output, then it is set, otherwise it is reset. We call this as digit carry. Yeah, digit carry nu solrom because the carry carries from digits to other digits. Okay, now 1 plus 1 again 0 1. Now 1 plus 1 0 1. So now triple 1, it is 1 1. Now 1 1 it is 0 with 1. Now carry flag also will set. Okay, so this is carry flag. So now can you understand about auxiliary carry flag, right? Now similarly you can write how many number of ones are there. Only 1 1. So even number of parity. So 0 you can put here. Okay, next thing is, next flag is 0 flag. Now here what is 0 flag? Yes, if the accumulator result is 0, then this flag will set, otherwise it won't set. Okay, so what for the use of this flag? See, whenever you do some compare operation or subtraction operation, you may get 0 in the accumulator, so then this flag will be helpful for you. And next one is, yes, as said, if the result stored in the accumulator is 0, then this flip-flop is set, otherwise it is reset. The next one is sign flag. Yes, what is the sign flag? See, if D7 of the result is 1, then the sign flag is set, otherwise reset. Okay, so the MSB bit, the last bit, if that bit carries 1, then we say it is a signed number. In the case of signed number, we call it as negative number. Okay, so if D7 is 1, then the number is negative. If D7 is 0, the number is positive, right? So here 0, so the number is positive. Yeah, let us now discuss about register pair. This block is for register pair. It has 6 general purpose registers: B register, C register, D register, E register, H register, L registers. Individually, we can access as 8-bit register. Even we can make this as a pair register. Okay, the register can work in pairs to hold a 16-bit data, like by adding BC register as a 16-bit register, DE register, HL registers. So we can combine the registers as a register pair. So we can have 3 register pairs. Next comes stack pointer. A stack pointer is a 16-bit register which works for stack. So it always increments and decrements by 2 during push and pop operation. Next important register is program counter. This program counter is one of the important register in 885, right? So it is a 16-bit register which holds the address of the next instructions to be fetched. Okay, so next instruction that we are going to fetch will be identified by this program counter, right? Next one is incrementer, decrementer, address latch. See, we have an address bus and data bus. Let me discuss first data bus. So this is a data bus. The blue color line indicates here data bus. Okay, it is a 8 line of bus. Okay, it's an 8 line of bus. It is a bidirectional bus. Okay, where you can transfer data from microprocessor to memory or peripheral devices, or from peripheral to memory device to microprocessor. So both way the communication is possible. The next one is address bus. So this address bus is divided into two. One is higher order address bus A8 to A15 and lower order address bus A0 to A7. Okay, so this we have 16 address lines and it is identified as A0 to A15. These address lines are unidirectional, rather bidirectional is data bus. And this 16 address line can capable of addressing up to 64 KB of memory location, right? So this is about your address and data bus. The next one is an important block called instruction registers, decoder and timing and control unit. Yes. So what is the significance of this block? See, this 8085 microprocessor has 256 instructions. So all instructions have their own features. Say for example, I am giving let us take two examples. First one is the instruction called move B comma A. This instruction says you have to transfer data from A to B, right? Similarly, the next instruction is add B. So this instruction says accumulator is added with B register and the result are stored in accumulator. Okay, so this is about instructions. We are going to discuss these instructions in the next unit, right? So we can understand the instruction by learning it, but how a machine can understand it? Okay, whenever we give this instruction to the machine has to work for that operation. How it understand? Yes, for that we have an instruction registers. Okay, so whatever instruction you are going to fetch from program counter, it will be stored in the instruction register. This instruction registers decodes the instruction and generates a machine cycles. Okay, timing and control signals, right? And that timing and control, we have a certain timing and control units like clock signals, ready signals, other hold and HLDA signals, reset signals like this. Let me see that here. The timing and control unit, it provides a timing and control signal to the microprocessor to perform operations. The following are the timing and control signals. Number 1, control signals. The ready signal, RD bar, WR bar signals are called as control signals. S0, S1, IOM bar are called as status signal. Hold and HLDA are DMA signals. Reset in and reset out are called as reset signal. And X1, X2 clock out are called as clock signals. Yeah, next comes interrupt. So what is interrupt? It is nothing but a disturbance. Okay. So 8085 microprocessor has a block called interrupt controller. Let me discuss first a few things of interrupts. It means interrupting the normal execution of the microprocessor. When microprocessor receives an interrupt signal, it discontinues whatever it was executing. It starts executing a new program indicated by the interrupt signal. Interrupt signals are generated by external peripheral devices. After execution of new program, microprocessor goes back to the previous program. This is about interrupts. We will discuss the interrupt in detail in the interrupt section. This 8085 microprocessor has 5 interrupts: trap, 7.5, RST 7.5, 6.5, 5.5, and then INTR. This INTR has acknowledgement pins. Next one is serial IO port. So the name says it is going to perform a serial operation. So every communicating device, every processor or every computer device requires a serial communication, because parallel transmission for a longer distance is not suitable. So hence we will go for serial communication. This 8085 processor also has serial communication with 2 pins. It comes with 2 pins, SID, SOD. SID is called as serial input data, SOD is called as serial out data. Nowadays this SID and SOD has replaced as TXT and RXT. So these are the 2 signals we use for serial communication. RIM and SIM instruction will enable this SID and SOD instruction. So this is about functional blocks of 8085 processor. I hope you will understand this 8085 functional blocks of processor. So in the next topic we will discuss about memory interfacing. Thank you so much.